Alright, so, yeah, here's my audience. And we'll start with this clip.
I saw a thing, actually, a study that said speaking in front of a crowd is considered the #1 fear of the average person. I found that amazing. #2 was death. Death was #2? This means to the average person, if you have to be at a funeral, you would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy.
Come on, that's funny. It's very funny. Did you hear it? Okay. Now, is that true? Are most people more scared of speaking in public than death? Well, according to Richard Garber, who posts a Joyful Public Speaking blog, it actually is true. Fear of public speaking was either #1 or #2. If it was #2, the only thing that people were more afraid of was snakes. So, people are more afraid of public speaking than death, than zombies, anything, which is hilarious. Now, why is there this fear of public speaking? Should schools continue to emphasize the importance of speaking in front of an audience, even when it causes distress to the speakers? Are there any benefits of doing this? Well, let's start off with what are the troubles? What are the problems with public speaking? Well, according to Wikipedia, glossophobia is the fear of public speaking, and it includes the following symptoms: anxiety, inner turmoil or dread, avoidance. People will avoid anything to do with it at all. They will avoid, if they have to speak at an event, they will avoid anything to do with the event because they're terrified. Also, physical distress. People will get nauseous, people will sweat, people will overheat, and there are many, many more. I could go on all day. Now, I know that every time I have to give a speech, even if I'm giving a speech for you, my parents, anybody, I'm still nervous. I'm terrified. I hate it. It's just, I'm not sure why. Now, what are we afraid of? According to persuasive speeches now, we are afraid of looking foolish. As Adam Sandler said, they're all going to laugh at you. I think that was in the Carrie movie too. But we're all afraid that people are going to laugh at us and we're going to look like idiots. We're also afraid of freezing up and forgetting what we're trying to say. We're afraid we're going to look ignorant with lack of speaking skills. We're afraid we're going to make mistakes. We're going to mispronounce words. I had a preacher once that mispronounced a syllable. Jessica and I talk about it to this day. It was pretty funny. We are also afraid of being boring. I'm afraid that you guys are going to fall asleep right now as I tell you my speech. I'm afraid of not feeling prepared. Sometimes you could spend all day preparing and you still don't feel like you really have enough preparation. I'm also afraid of feeling like I need to perform. Instead of trying to communicate to you a message, I feel like I have to put on a show to entertain you, and that oftentimes gets people off track. Well, doesn't that sound wonderful? Does that make you want to start public speaking now? Start a career? No, it sounds terrible. So if this is what your average public speaker has to face just to communicate a message, why is it important that we learn this skill? Well, according to Lucas Mettello, a public speaking expert, everybody's afraid to speak in public. So, if you are up and speaking in public, most of the audience will be thinking, wow, there's no way I would do that. And that will make you look brave. And it shows the audience a leadership ability as you step up and do something that everybody's afraid of. Also, it increases exposure. Can you imagine trying to share a message with 100 people individually? How long would that take? That would take forever. So if you can get up and give a speech, you can communicate to a large group of people all at one time, and you can communicate a powerful message. And think of the network that message would have. You communicate to 100 people, they go home, they tell their families, and that communicates, and so on and so forth. It's a much faster way of communicating a message. Also, you can gain trust and credibility. Everybody knows how hard it is to go up and do a speech. So when you do, the audience, they know that. And if you do a good job and you communicate effectively, you will gain credibility and trust. They can see that you're genuine and that you care. On the business side, you can reduce competition because your competitors also do not want to get up and give a speech. So if you go out there and you're confident and knowledgeable and genuine, you're going to gain that edge. And most importantly, you can accomplish something great by getting up there and sharing stats and feelings about a particular topic. You can, what am I trying to say? You can invoke and inspire change in the world. So, basically, I think that public speaking is important, even though it's terrible, even though most people would rather be dead. It provides a useful machine to communicate a message to a broad group of people. Thank you very much.